Hey, welcome to Module 1, Lesson 2. In our last video, we talked about the importance of creating that vision for all the areas of your life. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to answer that question of how do you develop that vision? So why is it important? And now let's take that theory into application. How do you do it? Because remember, as we talked about, 3 to 4 people really claim to having high level of life satisfaction, happy and fulfilled. So we want to make sure that you're in that piece and not the piece that's kind of neglected. So in terms of vision, it's the ability for us to imagine what needs to be real. And then we got to kind of systematize that. Now there's a lot of ways to do it. You may have seen somebody or heard somebody that does a vision board. They take all the images of what they want their life to look like and they paste them on a big board and they put them somewhere. Or perhaps they make it on their computer and they kind of keep an eye on that. We're also probably all have had some experience with goal setting. Most times that comes in the business sense. Here's your objectives for the year. You need to hit them. Statistics that I have looked at, and you can Google it to kind of take a look, probably safe to say less than 10% of the people really have tangible goals for their personal life that they review consistently. So in terms of how do you create this vision, one of the best ways that I have seen, and you think back about vision is the ability for us to imagine what needs to be real. So for me, it was the story of me coming out of the phone booth and saying, what's it going to be like when I get better? I'm sure all of you have heard of a guy named Walt Disney. There's a wonderful story where he was standing down in the middle of Florida and he was with his brother Roy and they were walking those 100 acres that was not yet Disney. And Roy said to him, I hope we live to see this. And Walt looked over and smiled at his brother and he said, I've already seen it. So in business and in personal life, tremendous power for us to see what we need to create. So a lot of different ways to do it. The way that I've learned to do it and that I've shared with an awful lot of people over the years and what really lands for me, I learned at the Hudson Institute when I went for my coaching certification back in 2007. And what you do quite simply is you write a letter back to yourself from the future. I like to go a year out. And you identify in that letter 5, 6, maybe 7 areas of your life that you really want to focus on. Now, when you identify them, obviously you're going to put the top 1 or 2 up top in that letter. And then, you'll go down. You may have some areas you want to keep an eye on, but they're moving along pretty good for yourself right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to get you started here. After I'm finished, I'll give you the instructions for this next exercise. You're going to go and do it in the space. If you think about writing a letter, in the top left-hand corner, you're going to type the date of the letter. So your date right now is going to be 1 year from the day that you're watching this. Whatever day you're watching this right now, June, July, August, whatever that day is, type that day and month, and then 1 year later. And then underneath of it, you're going to type, Dear Danny. You're going to use your name. So you've got the outline for the letter right now. Then what I want you to do is think about those areas of life where you go, yep, I got to focus on these. I got to drive some growth. I got to get this better. Is it health? Is it relationships? Is it career? Is it wealth? Is it creativity and fun travel? Which ones of those are there? Underneath where it says Dear in your name, put the first one, wealth. And then hit your Enter key. Well, we'll do that when we get into the computer. You can see where we're headed right now. Do that and then go a little bit below it. Well, you will because you're in the computer there. Hit your Enter key and put the next area of your life that you want to focus on. Hit the Enter key 5 times. Then so you see where we're going? We've got an outline. It says, up here, it says, here's the date, Dear Danny, and I go health. Then 5 spaces, then I have career. Then 5 spaces, and I have spiritual relationships, or whatever that might be. That's what I want you to do right now. And then when we come back in the next video, I'll talk to you about how do we really bring that to life? How do we fill it in according to what you want? Right? So this is a principle. What this space should provide for you, I like to call the big F. Inspiration and focus. Too many people understand the power of vision. They understand the power of goal setting, but they don't systematize it. They don't get it somewhere into their system that they can review frequently, which gives you what? Inspiration, which is an energy that you create for yourself. Inspiration is to cause something to happen. And focus. Focus is the concentration of attention or energy on something. And you're always focused. The question is, what are you focused on? So go ahead, engage in that activity, take some time, be very thoughtful, and I'll see you in the next video.